Hey, how's everybody doing today? I hope everybody is having a great weekend. Um, Today, I'm going to work on my fretboard. I need to darken it up a little bit, and I went on a site and I found it. I'll drop a link to it down below in the description. What it goes over as far as some pictures of the Frankenstrap body and such. It could help you out, as far as your taping and some of the other little intricacies on the body, of course. Now, the fretboard, let me see here. There's a picture of it right here. I was digging up some pictures, and this is the best picture that I could come up with as far as where his fingers were touching on the fretboard for the most part. You can see that right along here where the markers are, it goes no more almost than halfway, pretty much, except for a couple of them, like right there on the third fret, or excuse me, what is that? The fifth fret. Yeah, the fifth fret, it gets darker up top. So I am going to attempt to do that on this fretboard right here. And there's a few items that you might need in order to do that. Now, the first item are gloves, rubber gloves, because this stuff stains to the max. And the stain that I did about 3 and a half years ago, is still there. So you want to watch for that. Next, you're going to need some paper towel. The ones that come in strips like this, and then it's easier to fold. You're also going to need some Q-tips. Also, a couple of these ramekin cups will come in handy. And last, but certainly not least, is potassium permanganate. Ganymate. You're going to need that. And that's what has left the spots on my floor for so long. So, but anyway, we all know that Eddie, most of us know that he didn't clean his guitars too often. Personally, he didn't. That was left up to his guitar techs. They pretty much took care, as far as cleaning, I think a lot of it, when he was on tour, they took care of a lot of the cleaning, whether it be the body or the neck. Now, I purposefully, it's been about 3 weeks ago now, cleaned my fretboard. So I cleaned it so I would be able to, see exactly where everything was going, as far as darkening up the fretboard. And if you're a naturalist, of course, you wouldn't be using something like this because, you want your own oils to darken wherever, you touch the fretboard, slides, stuff like that. You want your own oils on there. But for the people who do a lot of the relicing work and stuff like that, you're gonna want to use the potassium permanganate. And I know I probably pronounced that and shredded the word about 4 or 5 times now. It's hard for me to pronounce. I don't know why. But what we're going to start out doing is we're going to take some of the potassium And we're going to put it in one of the other two because you need two. I mean, if you don't want to run back and forth to the kitchen, you're going to want to put probably about, let's see, depending on how dark you want your marks, put in about that much. If you can see that, put in about that much potassium. Make sure you put your lid back on it. Next, you want to put on your rubber gloves, which I should have done in the first place. That's a no on me. So let me put my rubber gloves on, because it will stain your hands, and the stain will stay there for a pretty long time. I've had that experience also. All right, so we got our gloves on. And we got our Q-tips. Now, in the other ramekin cup, you have some warm water. You put warm water in there so it'll dissolve a little bit easier. And when you add the water, it turns a purplish color. So again, don't spill it on your floor. All right. So how we're going to do this is I'm going to look at the picture that's on my phone here, and I'm going to try to copy to the best of my ability what that's going to look like. So let me start off here. I'm going to start off with a Q-tip, and I'm going to put it where I'm going to put it where I think might be best. So I dip a Q-tip in there, and this makes me nervous. And I'm going to touch right here and kind of bring it down and take it up a little bit, like in the point. And depending on how dark you want this will determine how much you put on here. And also, depending on how long you let it sit. Now, if it gets on your frets, not to worry. For some reason, it'll come right off the frets. Because they're smooth, they're not porous. I'm putting this on a unfinished maple fretboard. And this one goes from the top, from the bottom all the way to the top. Now, you may only want to put, maybe a couple of frets, do a couple of frets, and then move on and wipe it off. Don't let it sit too long, because it might get darker than what you want. So this one is kind of odd. It has a real dark mark right up here. Well, now it's going to have a dark mark right there. And then coming up, and then kind of hazing out a little bit. All right, so I'll let that sit for a while. And we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. It's set for a few minutes. I don't know how dark it's going to be. This is kind of like an experiment. If it doesn't turn out, I can always clean it and do it again. So what I did was, to take that off, the potassium off, I just took one of my pieces of towel paper and folded it in half, then fold it again, and then fold again. You got this little square there. It's easier to maneuver around on the fretboard. Now, we're just going to go ahead and wipe it off and see what result we get. and you want to rub it in. You don't want to just soak it up. You want to kind of rub it in. Now, we see that some of this is a little darker than what we want. So, I have to grab, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that. If it's too dark in some areas, like let me turn the camera a little bit. Like right here, what you want to do is grab yourself some quad zero steel wool. Don't get anything, don't use anything more than quad zero or you'll ruin the finish on your fretboard and or whatever. And take it and just kind of gently scrub on that spot that may be too dark. Got a little too dark there for my taste. And if you're on a regular fold out or one of those tables that fold together and stuff like that, you want to make sure that your potassium permanganate doesn't spill all over the place if it's on that same table. Because again, it will stain like a And if you happen to get some, okay, that's a little bit better. Yeah. Okay, now, hey, that's nice. If you happen to get some on your frets, like I said, again, don't worry about it because it'll come right off with the steel wool. And if you do happen to like what I did right here, I put a spot of it right there accidentally, leave it because it's your guitar and little mistakes like that, make it your own. There. That's looking pretty good, I think. If you look at the picture, it might not be as dark, but it's looking pretty dark along here. Now, as you're looking at it, and it doesn't look like, well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but to me, right here live, it looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and then I'll be right back and I'll show you the finished product, all right? So, okay, we're back. Now, you take a look at the picture. I did my best on this. You take a look at the picture of where it's dark and where it lightens up more on the fretboard there. Okay, now, this is what I got. Now, don't forget, if you're going to be using steel wool or anything like that, make sure you cover your pickup. It's just a quickie job, but you want to make sure that, because magnets, attracts metal. So here it is. I'm going to flash it across here really quick. Now it's darker in some areas and lighter in the others. Now if you look at the picture here, there's that definite line that's going across there. Now, what I did was, the reason why I say, make sure you cover your pickup if you're going to be using steel wool, because what I did was I went along with the steel wool and kind of blended some of them lines in all the way down the fretboard so it'd look a little bit more natural. It might not be, this might work for a while along with my own oils that go on the fretboard. That that helps a lot too. Not only do you have the potassium on the fretboard now, you also get your oils from your own skin that go on there, and it'll mix with it, and then it'll kind of either depending on how much potassium you put on, it'll either get a little bit more darker than what it was, or it'll get way darker if you put a lot of potassium on. So that's a little trick that I did with the fretboard. Now you can also turn it around for the neck and do the same thing with the neck. Let me show you. Put some potassium on there and just rub it on there. Now again, you can make this as dark as you want. Don't try to make it like that you didn't do it on purpose. See how it's getting way dark up here and it's lighter down here? Should have a little bit more dark right here on the bottom. You can't see it right there. A little bit more dark here on the bottom and on the top. See how that was quick and that was easy? Notice the change, how dark it got? Now, again, I said, like, it depends on how much of this that you want to use. I'm not doing it purposefully. I'm doing it just randomly. Then you go back with some more towel paper. Let me move this out a little bit. And just wipe it off. Wipe off the excess. And then you can use your quad zero steel wool again and go in a place to where you think, or where you don't touch with the gap in your hand right here between your forefinger and your thumb, and just kind of work on that and try to make it look as natural as you can, and not, you know, that was done on purpose. And that was just a quick demonstration. I may redo it again, but it looks pretty good. That was a quick demonstration of how I did that with the back of the neck. And like I said, all of this whole neck is unfinished maple, so it's already sunk into the wood. Now, if I wanted to clean all this off and redo it, it's going to look even more used. So, I mean, I'm never done on this guitar. There's always something that I'm going to do on it. You know, whether it's the pickup or the tuning machines, or maybe even the frets here soon or something like that. I'm never done with it, and I'm sure that anybody who's owned a Frankenstrat or has done anything with the Frankenstrat, you're never done. You keep on working on it. And like I said before with the potassium, I actually got a hole in my glove and I got some potassium on my fingertip. Well, that's about it. I mean, if you enjoyed this video and got something out of it, you know, using the potassium and stuff like that, you know, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a note, and leave a comment, please. And hey, you guys didn't get that last piece. Sorry, my battery died. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, you know, for other videos that arise. Hit the like button, and please leave a comment. Everything helps out the channel and stuff like that. I love doing this stuff. I love showing how to get the certain intricacies and certain look on the Frankenstrat. Last time I showed you guys the thing with the JB Weld, leaving that little gray spot up there on the top horn. So I enjoy doing that. And I also enjoy doing this. I like showing, like I said, I like showing the stuff about the Frankenstrat and updating and stuff like that. So you guys take it easy. Have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.